Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, what is up? Top King on 123 here once again, bringing you guys another video, and today I am talking about one of the reasons I will probably never ever get a PlayStation 4 or any futuristic type of PlayStation console. Now, if at some point in the future someone gives me one as a gift or something, that'll be fine with me. But simply me putting my own money for it, I'm not going to do something like that. And there is one huge reason that I will never ever pay my own money to buy a PlayStation. Before I get into that, let me give you a little bit of history about my history with PlayStation. PlayStation was my very first console. Back when the PlayStation 1 came out, that was my very first game, and I think I was playing this one game called Drive on it pretty much all day, all night for the absolute longest time. Then the PlayStation 2 came out, and I think it was like 12 or 13 years old, and I had gotten a copy of GTA San Andreas, and that was my first Grand Theft Auto game, which I just fell in love with those series. And after that, I had to have Vice City, and after that, I had to play Liberty City, and then Liberty City Stories, and Vice City Stories, and it just continued on from there. Then the PlayStation 3 came out. I got the PlayStation 3 shortly after they released on Christmas of the year PlayStation released, and I fell in love with it. I think one of my first games was, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a racing game that came out with it around the time, and it was like really good graphics, and I was just in like total astonishment, and I was like playing on one of those TVs that had the fat backs on it, you know what I'm talking about? And I mean, I just loved it. But then I got an Xbox 360. Some of my PlayStation friends kept recommending them to me, so I got that. And I thought, this is pretty cool. I'm still kind of a PlayStation guy, but I like the Xbox. So then we got to PlayStation Home. And PlayStation Home is the reason I won't buy one in the future. PlayStation Home to me was one of the most amazing things PlayStation ever did. And if you don't know what PlayStation Home was, imagine this. Imagine The Sims, designed by PlayStation, designed for multiplayer. And you could do all these different things, like go to these different rooms. There was an arcade in the plaza. You could go and do stuff like play bowling, pool, skee ball, all that kind of stuff in it with friends and meet people. It's like a social game. Then you could even go into PlayStation Home and could launch parties where you could say, hey, I'm going to host a Call of Duty World War II session, just to give you a total example, because I don't remember any of the games were out at the time. And, no, wait, no, Uncharted 4. I want to launch an Uncharted 4 game. And then people would see you're wanting to do that inside of PlayStation Home in their server, and they would walk up and say, you know what, I'll join you. And then it would launch you guys straight into the game, as long as you both had it in your console at the time, or had it downloaded. There was all kinds of different rooms, buildings you could go to. You could have your own apartment. You could design it. But I got a little annoyed with it because there was a mall. And everything in the mall you had to buy. There was a few things you could unlock for free, but you could get an apartment. You could design it. You could put TVs on the wall. You could watch your movies. There was a movie theater there showing PlayStation movies. I mean, it was one of the coolest things ever. And if you guys want, you can easily look up things online, like videos. I mean, it was one of the most, in my opinion, the most amazing things ever. And there's a new game coming out called Identity, and I think that that's going to be better than PlayStation Home was. But I have seen very few things, in my opinion, that were socially designed that were better than PlayStation Home. And this, what I'm about to say, is the reason I am probably not going to get a PlayStation. I believe Sony can turn on you in the blink of an eye. Now, what I mean by this, when PlayStation Home was out, in that mall I was talking about, I think I was like 13 or 14 years old, something like that. I can't remember. I might have been 15. I don't know. But I was playing PlayStation Home more than any other game. And I was going to the mall, and I think later down the line I looked, and I had spent, I think it was like $1,300 or $1,400 on PlayStation Home. It was obviously my mom's credit card and all that stuff, but I got permission for everything I got back in the day. And everything I had bought on it was, just awesome. I mean, it was like, it was clothing, furniture for apartments, more apartments, all different kinds of stuff like that. And then PlayStation announced that they were shutting down PlayStation Home. And I was upset about it. And that was around the time I totally swapped over to Xbox. And I know people are saying it's stupid to quit with a console just because they shut down PlayStation Home. My whole side of it is I spent, I think it was $1,300 on that thing. It was a free app. It was $1,300 I spent on it. But for them not to give a penny back and just to totally shut down the server of something that you pay money to, that showed me what kind of company PlayStation really is. And to this day, I always tell people, do not get a PlayStation. I'm kind of ticked off with Xbox because I've gone through quite a few of these Xbox One S's in the past, like 3-4 years. I've gone through like 5 or 6. And I'm getting annoyed with these. You know, they're not the greatest quality, but I prefer Xbox way more than PlayStation just because of that whole PlayStation Home thing. Because on Xbox, I have never found something that I paid a massive amount of money on and them to shut the servers down. I mean, it's like literally if GTA 5 were today to tell everybody who has spent thousands of dollars on shark cards, because it's been out for a while, and let's be honest, a lot of stuff in the game is pretty overpriced, and people buy shark cards. So people who bought shark cards, just imagine that they say, hey, GTA 6 is coming out next year, so we're going to shut down GTA 5 entirely. All that money you just gave us, gone. I mean, I just wish PlayStation Home was open to this day, because it's quite a shame that not a lot of people get to experience what I did. Now, that's pretty much my side of it. I mean, that's why I will never buy a PlayStation. I will never put my own money forward to buy a PlayStation. Now, like I said, if someone buys one for me in the future, I might play it, but I'm not going to put my own money down to buy a console after the experience I had with them. And I'm getting a phone call, probably a telemarketer. Hello?
Hello, this is Heather at Account Services,
And
and
we
we're
were
calling in
calling about
reference
to
to
our
your
credit card account, yada yada yada, interest rate, yada yada yada.
account.
Yeah. I've heard it all before. Yeah, I was right, telemarketer. So those people always call at the most inconvenient time. If any of my fans are telemarketers, I'm sorry, but you guys need to quit calling so early in the morning. It's currently 7:30. But yeah, I mean that's my whole side with PlayStation. It's really kind of a sad thing that I lost a lot of friends back then because I just was so angry. I just left and went totally over to Xbox, and most of them, it's just a pretty bad situation. I'm sure you guys can hear in my voice how I feel about it. Anyway, guys, that's my side of things. I just want to make this video because I've had a couple people send me messages about why not get a PlayStation. Please get a PlayStation and play with us. And it's just, that's my side of it. I just don't like PlayStation anymore. After they did PlayStation Home, and I understand they're a business, they weren't making much money on the game, but they still should have given something back to the people who put like over $100 in it. Like give them a year of PlayStation Plus or something, Anyway, guys, that's my side of things. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, understand a little bit more now why I won't get a PlayStation, and why I'm just going to stick with Xbox, unless, like I said, someone buys one for me for Christmas or something. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Stay awesome.